What's up, everybody? Asked me about my book. Someone got me this shirt. I forget where it came from, but I'm wearing it today. Got a message. I'm getting lots of messages from you guys, but got a message from this guy, Chris, who I've been talking to from time to time. So shout out to Chris for the topic of this video. Okay, he mentioned Leviticus 19:19, which says don't mate different kinds of animals, don't plant your field with two different kinds of seed, things of that nature, right? Well, you have to understand, the Bible is a product of the time they lived in. We have John Deere equipment now that does the plowing, okay, that does all that stuff. Back in the day, they had the bull. That's why when it was time to plant, you saw the bull in the sky, you put the plow on the bull on earth, okay? If they were to redo everything right now, they'd be John Deere tractors, okay? The Bible is a product of its time. Now, as far as the planting two different kinds of seed together, that's nonsense. In fact, doing it, we've learned, as the Native Americans have shown, that it is actually quite beneficial to do that, okay? The concept of the three sisters came from the Native Americans, and what that is it's corn, beans, and squash. You plant them together, and here's what happens. The corn provides tall stalks for beans to climb, okay? And the beans grab nitrogen from the air to fertilize the soil and stabilize the corn during heavy winds, okay? And then the leaves of the squash plant, it shades, it puts everything in the shade because the leaves are so big. It puts everything in shade, and it deters weeds. Okay, so this is what it is. You know, this is what the Native Americans have shown us. The Bible, if you've listened to me talk, is at least 10 different esoteric sciences, and you have to study each one of them, as long as I've been studying astrotheology, to understand it. It's a compilation of human achievement, human understanding, and things. If you read the Bible literally, you're not going to get anywhere. It was never meant to be done that way. The Bible was written literally in the sense that 2,000 to 4,000 years ago, okay? This is how people thought at the time, okay? When you encode things, okay, you have a surface level story, and then you have all the information that's under it, okay? The Bible was done in the time frame that it was. For instance, we now know there's 88 constellations in our neck of the woods, okay? At the time, Ptolemy, 150 AD, listed only 48 that they knew. Okay, now that doesn't include other individual stars that are named after animals and things like that nature, but the constellations themselves. We have a thing in society called chronological ethnocentrism, and our society basically beats us to the brim with it. Okay, and what it basically tells you, chronological ethnocentrism, is that we are the furthest along medically, we are the furthest along scientifically, we are the furthest along with everything. And people before us were stupid, basically. That's what it basically tells us. That's not the case, okay? That is not the case. When people look back on the 50s and they're like, oh, well, they didn't have this and they didn't have this. Human existence is cyclical, okay? We go through about 12 to 15,000 year periods of gaining stuff, and then we go back down. And then there's a cataclysmic event, and then we gain stuff again, and then it goes back down, and there's a cataclysmic event. Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch actually traces this very well. I've had a couple conversations with him on it. So you have to understand, the Bible is an extraordinarily deep book, okay? I only focus on one section of it, the astrotheology. It's an outstandingly deep book, but the surface level story, okay, to it is a product of its times. You have to understand that, okay? And so shout out to Chris for the idea for this video. And that's basically about it.